Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Power Is Now. My name is Eric Frazier. It's a beautiful day in Southern California, a great day to talk about real estate on the Homebuyer Townhall. Every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are talking about important topics and things that you probably should be aware of, things you need to know about real estate, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're a move-up buyer or maybe even an investor. We talk about things that are relevant to housing and to homeownership. In fact, today we're going to be addressing two important topics as a seller. And one of those topics, in fact, is as a seller, should you list your home above the market price, even though there may not be any comparable sales to support that price? Or should you list your home below the market price and try to drive the buyer to you? These are strategies that we're going to discuss today, and it's definitely relevant to sellers and should be of interest also to buyers who are looking to buy their first home. We're also going to talk about some headline news. Right now in the news is inventory. Inventory has reached an all-time low, folks, and I'm not sure if it can go any longer. There's not very many homes in the market. What are you going to do about that? And in addition to that, we're looking at interest rates still very low and the opportunity to buy. And what a shame it is to have such great affordability, but yet nothing to buy. Now, of course, there are markets where things are available, and we'll discover that in this discussion today. And this is just a few things we're going to talk about. Now, if you're watching for the first time, please like us on Facebook and, of course, follow us on Twitter. Let others know that The Power Is Now. Homebuyer Townhall is on. We are on right now, Facebook Live. Now, in addition to being the host of The Power Is Now, I'm also a vice president and mortgage advisor with First Bank. My license number is 461807. The views and opinions that I express on this show are my own, do not necessarily reflect that of First Bank. First Bank's been around since 1910. 1910, folks, family-owned bank, and they do just about everything, and we're going to get into that later as well. In fact, speaking of financing, the Golden State Finance Authority is going to be here to talk about down payment assistance. So this is really going to be a jam-packed show. In fact, let's just get started with introductions. First up is Yvonne Mcfadden. Nobody sells Arizona like Yvonne Mcfadden, VIP agent on The Power Is Now. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you, Eric. I'm Yvonne Mcfadden. I'm from Arizona. I'm with Deluxe Realty. My license number is SA0350430000. You can reach me through my webpage, YvonneMcFaddenRealtor.com.
Thank you, Yvonne. Yvonne always brings great information and adds to the discussion about our topic, so I'm looking forward to her input. Next up is Jenny Gonzalez out of Corona, California. We all know Jenny. She's probably the most prolific VIP agent on our platform. Welcome, Jenny, to The Power Is Now Homebuyer Townhall.
Thank you, Eric. It's a pleasure as always. This is Jenny Gonzalez with Keller Williams Corona. My license number is 01249788. I've been licensed since 1998. My cell phone number is 951-316-0374. My website is jennygsaleshomes.com, and I serve all of Southern California, especially the Inland Empire.
Thank you, Jenny, for joining us. We can always count on you to be on the Homebuyer Townhall. Next up is a brand new VIP agent on The Power Is Now. Her name is Candace, all the way from San Diego. We're so glad she has joined our program. Welcome, Candace, to the Homebuyer Townhall.
Hi, Eric, and thank you for having me. My name is Candace Thrower. I hang my license with AARE Realty. I've been in the real estate business for about 16 years. My cell phone number is 619-227-6089. My website is CandaceThrowerandAssociates.com, and my market area is San Diego, but I do go all over Southern California, all the way to Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area to be exact.
Thank you, Candace, for being with us today on The Power Is Now Homebuyer Townhall, your first Homebuyer Townhall, and you're going to do great. And finally, Carolyn Sansori, Marketing Director with the Golden State Finance Authority, is with us today. Carolyn, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to always be here for us and our listeners on the Homebuyer Town Hall.
Absolutely. It's actually my pleasure to be a part of this team, to be here on The Power Is Now. You all are doing such a great job of educating home buyers. I get to talk about some financial assistance, so it's going to be a great show. Thank you for having me.
Carolyn, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a great show, folks. I want to encourage you to, again, share this link with others. If you're watching live right now on Facebook, share it with others. I'm certain that we're going to talk about something that may be of interest to them. Maybe they can learn something new. Now, you're listening to The Power Is Now Homebuyer Town Hall every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. You can watch us live. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to get into the hot topics. We'll be right back.
Want to keep up with the current developments happening in the world of real estate? The Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by Eric L. Frazier, is a show you do not want to miss. The show features a panel of VIP agents who are passionate about helping people. It is what they do best. They discuss today's hot topics, latest market updates and trends. The panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures in the industry. New episode every Friday live on Facebook and replay on the Power Is Now YouTube channel.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to The Power Is Now Homebuyer Town Hall. So let's get right into it, folks. One of the most common questions being asked by sellers, and if you're interested in selling your home, I tell you, I couldn't make a stronger recommendation than to reach out to one of our VIP agents who could give you some further insights on what you need to do to get your home sold and at the highest price possible. Now, the question is, as a seller, should you, number one, order a home inspection? Should you get a home inspection done on your property before you put it on the market? And there are a lot of reasons to do it, a lot of reasons not to do it. And we're going to let our VIP agents chime in on this question. We're going to start off with Jenny Gonzalez out of Corona, California. Jenny, what do you say?
Well, I would say in this market, no, you probably do not want to do a home inspection before unless you think that there's stuff that's going on in your house that you might not know of. If you've been there for a while, you know what's going on, you probably know what is going to happen with the home inspection. But what I want to add to this is you can get a home warranty as a seller from the time that you list your property to close of escrow, so that you're covered in case something comes up or breaks during escrow, so you're not having to have that out-of-pocket cost.
Jenny, I think that's breaking news. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of sellers aren't aware that you're putting their home in the market and they can acquire, while it's on the market, a home warranty just for this period of time to protect themselves from things they may not know about.
Absolutely. And if, let's just say, your water heater bursts or anything normal that happens with a home warranty as a buyer, when you find out what's going on with your home when you actually move into it, those are the same things that are covered for as a seller during that time until you close escrow.
Wow, great information. Now, for those of you just tuning in, our hot topic is, as a seller, should you pay for a home inspection before putting your home on the market? And Jenny just said no, and she provided a solution in case something does come up. Let's see what Yvonne Mcfadden has to say out of Arizona.
I concur with Jenny because we're not in that market. Previous years, it was very important to have a home inspection prior to listing your home. But in this market, it really isn't necessary. And as Jenny mentioned, all of our home warranty companies, they will put a seller's warranty on their home, and which is great. Now, your home warranty, let me explain one little further. The home warranty sellers program that they put on your home, if something happened At close of escrow, you would pay the fee if that buyer did not want that particular company. And all home warranty companies are not equal. Some home warranty companies will charge a seller $75 in order to activate. And that particular company, they have their own workers. So what they will do is deduct that from the premium cost. Most premium costs of your home warranties, they vary from basic all the way up to covering sprinklers. So, and some now have roof coverage. So it's a game changer in our market for home warranties. And it's something that every agent should look at if they're a listing agent. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Yvonne. And so we have two no's right now with the solution of the home warranty. Now, part of the question is, if not, which is what Jenny and Yvonne are saying, then why not? Their answer is that it's just not the market for this. But I'm wondering about the potential liability that a seller may have. And perhaps our newest VIP agent, Candace Thrower, can bring that to the discussion as well. Welcome again, Candace, to your first Homebuyer Town Hall. What say you on the matter?
So the pre-inspection home inspection report, I believe, puts the seller in a good position because the seller won't be broadsided with repairs that he might not be aware of. It also gives him time or her time to make those repairs themselves. Sometimes those repair requests can slow down the escrow time, even though our contracts in California at least says that the repairs by the sellers don't have to be done, but it sometimes adds some, I don't know, some kind of funk, if I can say that word, to the transaction when the buyer feels like his way is not being met. That's my take on it.
Well, interesting take because you were talking about time.
Right.
Seller can have the time by doing that pre-inspection to get the property in order. Because typically as real estate agents, when you're meeting with the client to do the listing presentation and they agree to move forward with you, you're checking out the house yourself, right? And making recommendations. But inspection is going to go way beyond what any real estate agent would do and bring some important things to mind or to view to the seller.
So some of the benefits of the seller having the home inspection first is it gets him in the mindset of what needs to be done before the buyer actually walks through the home and puts in the offer. This will save some time because the seller can go ahead and price his home according to the facts that he actually finds. And those comments can actually be in the MLS if the seller agrees to it. And then the buyer is full aware of what those are and can price, his offer accordingly. So then there's no surprises.
Well, Candace, I appreciate your approach to this because these are all really benefits to the seller. Number one, they need to be aware of what potential stumbling blocks or challenges buyers may have in making an offer. And because they're going to do their inspection anyway, right? And so why not get ahead of that? And number two, if he discovers something that is rather serious, he can either repair it or he can reflect that in the price. And I think that's very important. And then number three, which is what I really like, I can't tell you as a lender how many deals I've been in that have been delayed because of seller repair issues. And they can be, some of them can be serious, some can take a while. And so being able to make sure the escrow is going to stay on track, the wheels aren't going to fall off, because of repair issues that the seller simply was not prepared to deal with.
Absolutely.
Great feedback so far on this. And now we're going to look at it from a lender's perspective. Carolyn, I know that you don't sell real estate, but you make the selling of real estate possible with your incredible down payment assistance programs. But what's your perspective on this question?
Well, from my perspective, since I'm dealing with the lending side so much, I really do defer to what these real estate agents are saying about the topic. And I think it what it really says to a buyer and a seller is it's really important that you pick agents who are thoroughly aware of what's going on in the market, and have these evaluation skills to decide what is best for you. And so, Golden State Finance Authority is here to provide down payment assistance to help with the financial side, but it requires a team of individuals, your real estate agent, your lender, maybe your financial assistance program, to really bring you to success. And so, it's great to be a part of these VIP agents and their discussion today.
Carolyn, you're absolutely right. It does take a team, right? It takes a team to sell a property, like it takes a village to raise a child, right? And so having an experienced agent that can guide you, in fact, you may be, those who are listening right now, watching us on Facebook, your home may be on the market right now, and you didn't have this conversation with your agent before you listed it, and you probably wish you had, right? So I tell you, a VIP agent, VIP agents represent experience, transactional experience, years in the business, and can guide you and help you through some of the decisions you need to make about selling your home, some of the things you need to prepare for in selling your home. Thank you for just bringing that up, Carolyn. So it's so true. Let's transition now to our second hot topic. And this really speaks to the state of things in the market. Homes are just going up in value rapidly. I believe some areas, they are on track for 10, 12, 15% appreciation this year. That's how crazy things have been. And so there are many people who are thinking about putting their homes on the market, and they don't really know how to price it. Their agent is going to make a recommendation, but because they want to sell to make the most money possible, they're thinking maybe I should put my home on the market for a number that doesn't necessarily represent what other homes have sold for in that neighborhood. But their reasoning is that none of the homes on the market have sold for what others have sold for before. It seems like every house is setting new records. Why can't I set a new record with my home? And so let's go back to Yvonne Mcfadden out of Arizona. Yvonne, you are a top listing agent out there selling million dollar properties. I know you've had these discussions with your sellers.
Absolutely, Eric. And let me just say this, our market is still extremely hot. In the market of $400,000 to $800,000, we're starting to rally again. The market had softened just a bit, but our market also is seasonal. And through July, the summer months, May to actually August, our million up, we kind of diminish a little. I think we went down maybe 17%. But let me just say this, the sellers are being more realistic because of the softening of the market, but we're not showing any signs of coming down. And our appreciation was up 40%. We went into stratosphere. We were in such a frenzied market, we could not catch our breaths. It was amazing. Now we're back down. We're still in double digits, but the sellers aren't seeing the benefit of the 30, 40%. They missed the mark. That market is gone. That was February to maybe May, and then it started to slow down. But they are still making money. They are still achieving their goals. What they aren't doing is finding new homes to move into. That is the dilemma. And new home sales we're at record numbers with our permits. We're up to the same numbers we were back in 2006. I think it's like 42% in permits, which is incredible. But it's needed in this market only because there's housing shortage. The supply is still extremely low. We're looking for the benefit of the moratorium being released and maybe more homes coming to market, but that's not going to be many because you have to really factor in several, factors to make that happen. But we are still in a very strong seller's market. And Arizona, I am thrilled to represent Arizona because this place, I can go in the 300,000s for a brand new home all the way up into the multi-millions.
Right.
And so I can cover so many different buyer needs that's what makes, me excited, as well as small commercial, as well as, I discussed trying to sell that 160 acres to a developer. So, but it's agricultural land, so there's a
Right.
lot that's going to go into that far as development and infrastructure.
Now, Yvonne, nobody sells Arizona like Yvonne, and thank you for that mini market report. So let me restate the question, and that is, should a seller price his home above the market, as opposed to below the market? What should his strategy be in this current environment, and why?
Although we give our sellers many, many opportunities to list at market value, they will not list at market value. They all overshoot the market. It's incredible. I mean, graphs and emails and conversations. And you take a deep breath and you go, I am serving you, but this is the price it should be. And they, oh no, I want 40, 50, 60, 70,000 above. And I meet them in the middle and price it. But realistically, some we meet at that list price, and others we've had to take less than the list price. But overall, sellers are overshooting their market value. And I don't know, I can't wrap my head around that one. I can't.
I'm seeing a lot of that, and you're right. In fact, let's throw it now to Candace, our new VIP agent. Candace, a lot of sellers are, pricing their homes. They're going out the gate above anything else in their local market area. And then there are those who are going below the market and trying to drive buyers to them. What is the strategy that you recommend, and what are the kind of the pitfalls of both strategies?
So I actually recommend being just a little bit below. Buyers, just like us in any industry, if you're shopping for a car, you're going to go look for a car that you want, but then you're going to compare it to another car that might have more bells and whistles, but you figure I can put those bells and whistles on myself. So I've been in a position where I've actually sold a couple of homes. Actually, we priced them 15 to 20% below market. And this was in a market, say 2 years ago. And what it did was it drove more buyer traffic to our seller's home. And we actually had an open house where we had 98 groups of people, not 98 people, but 98 groups of people because of this price. And when, they saw each other there, they naturally overbid it, and they brought the price up to where the seller wanted to be. Now, in the reverse, if you price your home above market, then the buyers are going to typically use your home to compare it to a more reasonably priced home in the neighborhood. So they might come to your home and say, or have their agents say, if you think this home is a good deal for 500, wait till I show you the one for 480,000. And that's kind of, the back and forth that I have with pricing your home below versus above market. I say below got us the better results when we've done it that way.
Is there a particular number to go below market? 1%, 5%, 10%? Obviously, I think probably the lower you go, the more traffic you're going to have.
Oh, absolutely. So when we use that strategy, we actually know that the seller has a threshold. So they have an absolute price that they don't want to go below, but we use that strategy. We've used it, the max that I've used it at has been 15%. And it was a house that we had it priced for $350 and we went down to $270. And we got, again, 98 groups of people. We sold it within probably like 45 minutes. And we had a large list of buyers who did not get the house because, again, it's only one house. And so we were able to work those additional buyers and find properties for some of them. So it worked best for us. The more that we could price it below, the more of the traffic that we were able to get.
Wow. Thank you, Candace. Jenny, it looks like, selling slightly below the market is a win for the agent and a win for the buyer. I mean, for the seller, potentially. Agent gets to more potential clients that he or she may be able to work with. The buyer gets more, gets a bidding war, perhaps not intended, but maybe so. What say you?
What say me? I say that when I'm talking to my sellers, what's coming out of their mouths are the right offer, not how many offers, but the right offer. So when I'm sitting down talking price with the sellers, oftentimes I come in with a number in my head and on paper. And then I ask what their number is. And usually it's lower than my number.
Oh.
And I base my number based off of the most recent comparables. And a lot of times I say, hey, yours has more upgrades than this one does, or yours has less upgrades. And we base it off of that. I take out the top, I take out the bottom, and we meet in the middle. And that's just the way, if they know that stuff needs to be done to the house, they take that into account. We sit down and we dissect the house and say, what is it that the buyers are going to see when they walk into your home? Because they need to picture themselves in your home. So if you're having a bidding war and you have, I'm sorry, Candace, I'm not into I've done that a couple of times and I said no more. Having 80 people at a house in a weekend is nuts. Not only is it nuts, but it's hard to keep track of people in the first place. So when I sit down with my sellers, I actually ask them, do you want to price it low and get a ton of offers and decide into that? Or do you want to price it right and get the right offers and have the right buyers and have a great escrow? And every single time for the last, I don't know how long it's been almost 23 years now, I have not had one person have a different discussion with me and saying, oh no, I want to place it way above. I have never had that.
Jenny, you have some uncanny luck, because I have been at this for a minute too. And it is a common complaint among real estate agents that I'm talking with, that their sellers are completely unrealistic, have lost their minds about what they think their property is worth. In fact, I'm one of those sellers. I was thinking about putting my house on the market, and my wife's a realtor and we can't come to an agreement, because I think, we live in the Taj Mahal and we ought to be able to get a whole lot more money than what I also know, seeing the data that we can get. But this kind of reminds me of auctions, because their auctions were really popular a few years ago. They're not so popular now, but I've gone to some of them and there would be like 700 people there, and they would start the bidding, and every single time the house would go for way above the start price. And so it seems like there is a logic to having a lot of people come to the open house. But it does bring problems, which I totally recognize that you're talking about, just being able to manage that. Let me go back to Candace for a second here. Candace, how did you manage 98 groups of people visiting that home? Did it drive you crazy? Because Jenny said she couldn't handle it.
So, it's so funny that you said auction, because I was utilizing at that time an auction platform, and I still have that platform. And so one of the features was that we priced a home and we have the people come, they have to line up. And in order to put an offer in, we had to have their name, email address, and their phone number. So we're capturing that information in our system. So I had the lenders there, and the lenders were the ones capturing the information. Our team would greet them at the door. We had other team members throughout the house to kind of walk them through. And the lenders were actually pre-qualifying the people as they were coming in and out of the house. So, they didn't know what to expect. Here's this house 15-20% below market, and they're thinking, oh, it's going to be a dump. Well, in some cases it was a dump, but we had investors, and what do they like? They like ugly homes. And so in this one particular ugly home that we had, again, we priced it at $270. We sold it for $350. It was a triple deal for me as an agent. I was able to relist the home. I was able to help a family that was in need because their home was in probate and the family lived out of state. So we were able to get multiple, buyers. And if one fell out, well, we had 97 more. So it worked in our favor. And again, that list was, created by the lenders. And when people walked in and saw that, hey, this house is, a 350 house we could sell for 600,000. Well, if they gave us the name Daffy Duck for their email address, they quickly came out and changed that to the real name because now they wanted to be a part of the action. People have that FOMO, fear of missing out. And once they come and see that, this is a great house and it's priced, maybe 15% of below market, but when they see that they can actually put it back on the market for 200,000 more, well, they get excited. Who wouldn't?
I think FOMO is a human condition. I have it. Most people have it. FOMO.
Yes.
But you bring an interesting perspective here, using the auction method to sell your home. And I'm wondering why I don't hear about more of that happening, particularly in this marketplace where there is an abundance of buyers and not enough homes for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps prices would be even higher and we would be accelerating appreciation. It would be even worse than it is now. But just in comparing what your strategy has been and what you have used in the past to what Jenny's talking about, Jenny, you're talking more of kind of a value add. I mean, the price is what it is. And you're saying, listen, I'm the expert here. I'm the expert. I've sold many homes. Here's the data. This is what your home is worth. This is what your home is worth. And if we list at this price, we're going to get that offer. Our offer is very, very close to this, and we're going to be able to sell the home. Now, many buyers, though, or many sellers may be resistant to being told what they need to do. And how do you handle that?
Well, I actually go in there asking them a lot of questions. What their motivations are, what their goals are, what their numbers are. Do you know what your numbers are? What is it that you want to get out of it? Mm-hmm. A lot of times they overestimate how much it's going to cost to sell their home. Number one, because title and escrow is not as expensive as it was. We're doing a lot of stuff online now, so the costs are not as much. And yes, we have reduced our commissions a little bit. That helps out a little bit as well. But they don't really know what the true numbers are until you actually sit in front of them and they're like, really? I can get that much out of my house? And then you explain to them, well, this is just the minimum. I actually just put the maximum on the numbers for everything. And this is the minimum that I show that you're going to have for cash out of your home.
Right.
And at that point, I have their attention. And at that point, I'm in control and they're listening and they're engaged in it.
Right.
And if they look at the facts straight, I don't like doing slideshows and all that other stuff. I like putting pieces of paper in front of them and say, look at the pictures, look at the data.
Right.
What is your house compared to this house? I used to even take sellers over to other listings to see what they looked like so that they can price their homes accordingly.
Right.
Go out of the way to do it so you're not worried about the appraisal coming in. You're not worried about people having to reduce the price of the house because you priced it too high and it's sitting on the market longer. The longer it's on the market, the longer they're going to be looking at you going, where are those offers at? Mm-hmm. So that's just my opinion.
For those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about pricing a home. Should you price your home above the market or below the market? And as you can see, this has been a really interesting discussion to several different perspectives on and strategies on listing your home for sale above the market, below the market, utilizing auctions as a method of getting the buyers there and people interested, or just finding the true value and relying on the expertise of a seasoned real estate professional. We're going to let Carolyn Sansori, our standing by non-agent lender down payment assistance expert, to chime in here and just give us your thoughts, Carolyn, on the subject matter.
Well, as I'm listening to all of you, and of course we are talking about a seller and putting a house on the market, it makes me think about the position that buyers are in, because this is about developing a relationship with your real estate agent, and are they taking the time to figure out what your needs are and then how to meet those needs. And we're in a market where inventory is extremely low, where people are pricing houses, some at market or some below, but a lot of times above market. And buyers can end up being put in positions where they can't get the financial part of the transaction nailed down because appraisals are not supporting these values, right? And so if you get 60 offers on a home that you have listed, but a bunch of those offers can't stand on the financing, what does your seller really have? Now, I'm not suggesting that there aren't going to be times when you have cash offers and people who can pay that difference. But when you're talking about low and moderate income borrowers, maybe first time home buyer, they're probably not going to be able to make that difference. And so this topic is, I think, pretty relevant to a buyer as well. If I were selecting an agent, I would ask the agent how they feel about, would you put someone's house on the market above? Because that's going to tell you whether they're really evaluating value and what will meet my needs now that I'm a buyer. And I guess that's what I'm hearing with this is it's good for the buyer to know what these challenges are out there and the decisions that people are making about where to list these houses. It makes no sense to keep looking at properties that are priced out of their ability financially.
Carolyn, thank you so much for bringing the buyer's perspective. And they're kind of like insiders right now, hearing the strategies and what listing agents have to go through and with buyers or with sellers to come up with a price. And you're right, the poor buyer, what's a buyer to do, right? Because these homes are being priced in a way that ultimately they're selling way above market value, and they may have an appraisal issue. And it's becoming more and more common that appraisals are not coming in at value. Folks, this has been a great topic, and I certainly hope that you've gained some insights as to what listing agents are dealing with and trying to come to a number that is acceptable to a seller, and that the sellers do have real financial goals. For many people, they're baby boomers heading to retirement, and so they really can't afford to leave any money on the table. If they can get it, they want it. And so trying to figure out a number that will make everyone happy, and at the same time, according to Carolyn, appraise so it can close, that is a serious challenge. This is why it's so important that if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, that you work with a VIP agent, someone with experience counts, folks. It really does, because you can go to school and you can take every class and get every designation known to man, but until you've actually been in the trenches for at least 10, 20 years or more, which most of our VIP agents are 20 plus years in the business, you need a trusted advisor to guide you, to help you make these very, very important decisions. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some headline news you should know about, and unfortunately, it does represent even more challenges for buyers. You're listening to the Powers Now Homebuyer Town Hall. We'll be right back.
Many Californians fear that they will not be able to pay their rent next month. Financial education and literacy are the catalyst for relief. So what resources are out there? A State of California program connects you with a HUD-certified housing counselor who can assist you on your financial education journey with no cost to you. Call today at 1-800-569-4287. Again, that is 1-800-569-4287.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to The Power is Now Homebuyer Town Hall. We've had a great discussion about the market and about listing properties for sale, the strategies around it, the challenges that listing agents face and their sellers. Now we're going to talk about some headline news, folks. In the news right now is affordability. And I have a video here from CNBC. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. It is time for today's Executive Edge. Home affordability now has dropped to its lowest level in nearly 13 years. Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta saying the median U.S. household would need about 32% more of its income to cover mortgage payments. That's the highest since November 2008, Becky.
So according to CNBC, housing affordability has reached an all-time low. And what was shocking to me, and I want to get the feedback from my VIPs here, is the fact that a person would have to make almost 30% more in income to qualify for a home today. Oh my goodness. Jenny, what do you think about this?
I feel sorry for first-time homebuyers, honestly. It's going to hit the first-time homebuyers. It's going to hit the seniors, and it's going to hit single people because they only have one income. With regards to, if it's going to change or not, that's all going to depend on our local governments and our federal government and how much they're going to invest in our infrastructure, housing, affordability, things that they've been talking about. If those things get passed, there may be a chance that we have more people that have more affordability. But at this point, I just see houses just rising at this point. And until we start getting minimum wage up higher, until they start paying a lot of people such as first responders get paid, what they need to be paid, they should be in those $1 million homes, not the people that are, just inheriting the homes from their parents or whatever it may be. I just have a little something about that. But yeah, there's a lot of hardworking people out there that don't have the opportunities that other people do. And that doesn't just go by ethnicity or anything else. It just goes by hardworking people that just have not been given the same break as other people.
Jenny, you bring up some interesting points, and I think I want to dive on a couple of them. In fact, right now, what's happening right now is the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of this country, with baby boomers retiring. And so there are those who've had the benefit of being in a family that has owned real estate and able to pass it down. They are benefiting big time. And unfortunately, this is not the case with minorities. We don't have the legacy of wealth in our families and homes that have been in our families for generations. Actually, you find that quite common in the South, particularly with minorities and African Americans, but not here, not in the North, not in the West. And so that's one thing that comes to mind when I look at this report. The other thing too is that it seems like people need to get creative, because if it's going to take me 30% more in income to qualify for a house, what do I do? Just throw up my hands and give up? I need to figure out a way to generate more income, because the harsh realities of renting is that ultimately anyone renting is on a pathway or trajectory to homelessness. I mean, their rents at a certain point in their lifetime will exceed their income. And it's just, our great-great-grandparents are rolling over in their graves right now, looking at what people are paying in rent. And so this is a very, very startling news report for me. Let's bring in our new VIP, get her perspective on this. Candace, what do you think about this report?
Well, I'm with Jenny. It is a very startling report, but it is our reality. And to your point, being more creative, I think, is one of the ways to go. I see it here. I live close to the Mexican border, and I see, a lot of families that are banding together. They're 5 people strong on an application to purchase a home. I think being creative from that standpoint is something that we can all think about doing, or, at least mentioning to our buyers, maybe go in together on a home for a few years. Equity prices are, the equity is shooting up. Right now I have a buyer, we bought in Menifee in, I think it was March, and we won't even close escrow until the middle of October. His home hasn't closed yet, and we're already $100,000 worth of equity. So the prices are really climbing, and it's a good time for us to kind of band together, again, like you said, Eric, and just be creative and know that this might not last forever as far as us living together, because some of us just can't, seem to fathom living together. But if we had a goal in mind, I think we can all work together to accomplish that goal. And that would, in fact, lead us all to the possibilities of home ownership. And of course, the great programs that Golden State offers is amazing. So there are some creative financing that we can think more about. And it's up to me, I feel obligated as a realtor to not just sell those $1 million homes, but to also see how I can get someone that might not be able to afford a $1 million home into home ownership.
I'm so glad you brought up Golden State because that is part of the getting creative and having more access to capital. And we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes here. I want to bring Yvonne in on this topic. Yvonne, I know Arizona has been on fire. And so it's just becoming increasingly difficult for people in Arizona.
Well, my take and what I share with my buyers is buy something. Interest rates are historically low. Buy something. It doesn't matter. If the bones are good, buy it. If it's a huge home for generational families, buy it. And that will bring in your buyers in the future. I mean, as you mentioned, Candace, they only have to live with their family for 3 to 5 years. You can buy a home with a split floor plan and everyone could really enjoy. It makes it much better because you can share the chores, the cooking. It really is a good win-win for all family members. Now, this is what I'm seeing in Arizona. The developers are building rental communities, and these rental communities are bringing in future buyers. So the buyers that cannot afford to purchase at this time, they're buying in these new home developments that are rental communities. These builders, they're smart because they have their built-in buyers right there. And they're going to offer them an incentive to purchase the home because they moved in at the very beginning. So we've seen so many variations of a theme in this business. I'm 33 years, almost 34 years in this business in Arizona. And I pretty much have seen not all, but most. And I know that this is just another caveat that is going to bring more buyers in the next 5 years. So that's my take on it.
Thank you, Yvonne. Now, Carolyn, we're going to go into a deep dive on down payment assistance in the next segment here. But isn't it interesting that we have just being in lending, sitting on the sidelines, watching all this take place, and we have this incredible dichotomy between prices going up and yet interest rates are going down. And normally in the past, it's been just the opposite, right?
We are in a completely opposite market. But one of the things Yvonne said really made me think about a report that the Federal Reserve just put out. They do this every couple of years, estimating the net worth of a renter versus someone who's a homeowner. A homeowner's net worth is estimated at $255,000. A renter, $6,300. And what you said was buy something now. When we see the rates at historic lows like this, it's a huge opportunity for people to get started on wealth building, on financial security building. And maybe it won't be the perfect house that has the white picket fence and is your forever home. But if you wait until the market flips and you're looking at the higher interest rates, you're going to have a whole nother set of challenges. You will have thrown away years worth of income to a landlord and you will be behind the game. And, there's been a huge effort in the industry, and I know we are all a part of that as well. The Power is Now Media is, Golden Finance Authority is, to help minorities start building more financial security through home ownership. They have been in a very, they've had to deal with a lot of disparate treatment. They have been in the lowest home ownership rates for decades. And so here we are all trying to tackle this. And I think one of the things we need to do is to educate people to take advantage of what is happening today. We talk about prices being so high, but we are also seeing that historic low interest rate issue. And so I think it's worth considering that it is now that you should start looking at real estate. We always say that the power is now, and that's why.
Carolyn, I couldn't agree with you more. The power is now to buy. It really is. And I also agree with Yvonne that they need to get into something, find something, buy something. And the reason for this is because there is a serious shortage of housing. That's what's driving the demand, in addition to low interest rates. In fact, that's the next headline news. Let's watch the video.
A surprisingly downbeat forecast for the 2020 housing market from one of the largest names in real estate, and it could have big implications for consumer spending. Diana Olick joins us right now with more. Diana, good morning.
Good morning, Becky. Realtor.com, one of the nation's largest home listing sites, says the housing market will slow down next year. The headline of the report is home sellers will remain on the sidelines, and that will cause the inventory shortage to get even worse and could even hit that record low. Now, low inventory will cause sales to drop just under 2% from this year, according to the report, and home prices will flatten nationally as millennials, who account for half the buying market, struggle to afford overheated prices. In some major markets, however, Realtor.com is predicting prices will actually go negative, the first time that's happened since the housing crash. Now, those cities include Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, Miami, Detroit, St. Louis, and San Francisco. With prices weaker, sellers will have little incentive to put their homes on the market. Now, home construction is increasing, but it's largely on the upper end of the market, not at the entry level where demand is strongest. One of the only bright spots in the report is that mortgage rates will remain low. And in fact, they moved sharply lower yesterday on the China trade news. Becky?
Diana, thank you very much. Joe, does that concern you? Anything about the future of the stock market, if this is true?
No, because the consumer balance sheet is probably one of the strongest balance sheets that we have right now. Savings rate is up near 8%. That's a level that we have not witnessed in probably 10 years. So consumer spending has been strong. I think that's going to continue, and I think it's a favorable condition if consumers are not just looking at the price of their home, utilizing the credit and running the debt level in the house near as 90%. There's more to the consumer spending story, and I think that's why the buoyancy remains.
Can you believe that report from Realtor.com? That's a source, folks. In fact, if you need information in regard to real estate related news, Realtor.com is a fantastic source. As you can see, CNBC uses it, and so do we. Now, the housing supply is going to hit a record low, and they expect for real estate prices to flatten. And so there's not going to be an incentive for sellers to put their home on the market. And that's what we need. What are we going to do? To add to that, millennials represent over 50% of the market. Did you know that? Millennials. And so, they're just getting started in the workforce. They're not at this point in their income where, they're buying their trophy homes. First-time homebuyers are having to spend in certain markets $600,000, $700,000 for their first home. This is just amazing news to me. Let's see what our VIPs have to say. We're going to start with Jenny Gonzalez out of Corona.
I tell you what, As long as we continue to have houses and we continue to have families and we continue to have families that grow, we will continue to have real estate sell. I really do not believe that there is a real estate bubble that's going to happen, that everything's going to flatten out. There's no way that Corona is going to go back down to 60 listings on our MLS when we used to have it in the thousands. I just don't see it happening. I see that people are continually moving. They're going from one state to the next to the next. They're following their families. What I do see is people selling and they're buying RVs and they're going across country on their RVs. That's what people are doing, but they're still selling their homes. They may have something small to go to, whether it be a family member's house, or maybe they had a 2-bedroom condo that they kept. So when they come back home to visit family, that they have somewhere to be. But there's really no reason when you sell your home and you get the equity out and you can go wherever you want. That's what people are doing. They're not going to stop selling their homes. People cannot stay in the same place for that long. They just don't.
Jenny apparently is not buying the report. I get it. Let's see what Candace Thrower has to say on the matter.
So I agree with Jenny. Life events happen. People die, people are born, people get married, people change jobs and locations. I also believe with the onset of COVID, people are learning that they can do their jobs from home. So instead of waiting, 10 years to move to Southern California, they can move now. And so with our industry here, at least in San Diego, we've seen a large influx of people from, say, the Bay Area, Midwest, West Coast, because of that same mind frame. They come here and think our prices are, below market, and they are. I mean, you can get a home here. I have one on the market now for $475,000. It's a fixer, but that same home after repair value is going to sell in the sixes. And so there is a lot of great opportunity, here. And so, no, I don't buy the report. People, again, have those life changes. And if they need to buy, they're going to buy. If they need to sell, they're going to sell. And that's just, we do what we do.
I agree with you. Life events do happen. You and Jenny are making some very, very strong points that you believe that homes will still be coming on the market. But let's say it's true. I mean, the average area doesn't have anywhere near the listings that they've had in the past historically. And so it is a kind of a different environment we're in right now, where there's still going to be a lot of people fighting over very few homes that are for sale. And then another thing that really struck me about this report is that there's no new entry-level construction happening anywhere, folks. If there's any construction is being built to rent, or is being built for the high to super high income. No entry-level construction being built, and that is really interesting. Let's see what Our Lady in Arizona has to say, Yvonne Mcfadden.
You do know that here in Arizona, I mentioned to you, we have a builder out of Wisconsin that is building entry-level homes. I've not been able to make contact with them, but I'm very interested to see if that's their only site is in our the southern part of Phoenix. Far as what the 1.8% were, taking a dive in values, no, I see it softening, and yes, we will come into a balance. But the balance is not going to take us down, I don't believe, 10, 15%. I believe we really are going to have a strong market. It's going to continue to be strong. And that's just my take on it. I don't foresee everything crashing and burning as so many people are seeing.
Well, there you have it, folks. Our VIP agents aren't buying this report. And so let's see what Carolyn Sansori has to say on the matter. Carolyn.
Yeah, I don't really know which way to go on this. It could go either way. I like the idea that the house prices will flatten a little bit, so that increase is just not quite so drastic. But I think either way, what I see is people needing to be creative with the financial side. And so, I'm glad we're going to get to talk about that. But, I'm not sure what to predict on the market. I've never been right when I did a prediction.
Well, Jenny Gonzalez has me on record of being completely wrong when it comes to interest rates. I thought for sure a couple of years ago when we were sitting doing an interview and we just got in an argument, she was absolutely confident that interest rates were going to fall. And I said, Jenny, I would not be surprised if we would see 7% interest rate back again. And of course, I am so wrong. I mean, 2.75. I mean, as interest rates continue to fall, and that's government, conventional low threes, it's unbelievable. So with the low interest rates, right, and then the more people, because of lower interest rates, there are more people who can afford to buy, right? So we just have abnormalities all over the place. Not enough inventory, abnormal interest rates, abnormal demand. And so it's going to provide just kind of an unpredictable result, and only time will tell. Well, folks, that's the headline news. We're in the home stretch of the Homebuyer Town Hall. Next up is Golden State Finance Authority Carolyn Sansori, and she's going to talk about what we've all been alluding to, and that is creativity. How do you get creative? What do you need? How do you get some money in a market like this where prices are high? You're listening to the Homebuyer Town Hall. We'll be right back right after this commercial break.
The Power Is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, Real Estate Programming Guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate news and information from industry experts. Subscription is free. Sign up today. thepowerisnow.com. thepowerisnow.com.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the Power Is Now Homebuyer Town Hall. Folks, I have to tell you, I feel like I have the best seat in the house. Getting this great insight from these experienced agents who are just in the trenches, making it happen for their clients every day. It truly is an honor for me to host this show and to be the CEO of the Power Is Now Media. Thank you for watching and for hanging in there with us. Please remember to share this information with your family and friends. Well, we're in the final stretch of this show tonight, and next up is Carolyn Sansori. Carolyn, we've been talking about all the challenges, but thank God you're here with a possible solution for some.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here. Golden State Finance Authority has been trying to tackle this affordability issue for over 28 years in California. We've been able to help over 83,000 home buyers to purchase homes by providing the down payment and closing cost assistance that they need. Oftentimes people consider themselves ready to buy. They think I can afford this mortgage, and then they sit down and they look at how much they need to come up with in down and how much in closing costs it takes to purchase a home, and maybe still want to have some reserves for those repairs that might come up, and it feels very overwhelming. So our housing finance agency is here to provide a solution, a tool to make home buying a bit more affordable. It's not the fit for every borrower. There are borrowers who have cash resources to dip into, who maybe are in a position where they don't need to access an assistance program. But there are a lot of people today who just don't have the ability to save 5%, 10% of their income until they build up 20, 30,000 or more to purchase a home. And if they do wait to do that, it could be another 3 or 4 years, and they may be looking at a completely different market. They may be looking at higher interest rates. Home prices will continue to rise, I think. And so what we're providing is a tool to help people get into a home today when they didn't think that was possible because they don't have the cash resources for down and closing. We have 2 down payment and closing cost assistance programs. I'm only going to touch on just the surface today. But what I would like to encourage anyone watching tonight's show to do is to go back and watch some of our other homebuyer town halls, or even better yet, we've got videos on our website, on our YouTube channel. The Power Is Now has them on their website as well, where we dive deep into both of our down payment assistance programs. And you can learn all the little nitty gritty details about how they work, how they make home purchasing possible, and then get in contact with lenders. For example, First Bank. Eric is with First Bank and can provide you access to those programs. So what I'd like to start out with is just dispelling some myths out there around down payment assistance. Most people, when they hear down payment assistance, they think, oh, that's only for first-time home buyers. And with Golden State Finance Authority, that's not true. You could have been a home buyer in the past. You could be a first-time home buyer today. You could even own a property today, but you're looking to buy a home that you're going to be moving into as your primary residence, and we can provide you money to help you with the down and the closing costs on that purchase. So owner-occupied purchases, that's what we're looking at, not second homes or vacation homes. We're really helping people purchase a home that they're going to be moving into and living in. The assistance that we provide is up to 5%, up to 7% with one of our programs. That's a lot of money. If you're looking at a $400,000 loan, 5% is 20 grand. 7% is for $28,000. That's a lot of money that someone didn't have to save in order to use for their down or their closing costs. And then there's some great features of our program that again dispel some myths. Most people think that all assistance programs have to be repaid. You know, you get the assistance to purchase the home, but then at some later date, you are going to have to pay that money back. And I'll tell you right now that we have two programs, and both of them are structured in such a way that not all of that assistance is repaid. With our Platinum program, if you are in some of our special occupations like public health, first responders, law enforcement, education, there's a couple others, it's provided as a gift. For the other borrowers in that Platinum program, it's forgiven after 3 years and doesn't have to be repaid. With our Open Doors program, which provides a little bit more in assistance, up to 7%, portion of it is provided as a gift. And then the other portion is paid back at a future date, but doesn't accrue any interest along the way. So if you're hesitating from looking into down payment assistance because you think it is only for low-income borrowers or people who have no resources or people who are first-time home buyers only, or that it's always going to have to be paid back, let me just leave you with how flexible the programs are through Golden State Finance Authority, how we are making dreams come true every day. It is great to get letters from borrowers saying, I never thought I'd be able to purchase a home, and I have a mortgage that is less than my rent. You know, I have a safe, secure place for my family. I am now the first in my family line to own a home. And so that's what the program's here to do. If it's the right fit for you, wonderful. But the first thing you've got to do is get in contact with First Bank or another lender, find out if it's the right fit for you. Don't self-diagnose your circumstances.
Carolyn, you just said my favorite phrase, do not self-diagnose. The Golden State Platinum program and Open Door program are jam-packed with incredible benefits that you're doing yourself a disservice by not sitting down with a mortgage advisor. Now, I'm happy to say the First Bank is approved with the Golden State Finance Authority, and I love this program, and I can help you. I can guide you. I can let you know what you need to do to get approved if you fall short in a few areas. And if you are approved, we can get you a full commitment so you know the money has been set aside for you. And Carolyn, I appreciate so much the commitment that Golden State has to affordable lending. And I don't know if there's ever been a time in our history as a country where we need access to capital now more than ever. I mean, as prices go up, more down payment is needed for people who have saved hard. This could make the difference for them. And what's so great about your program is that we see this transfer of wealth taking place. Baby boomers are retiring, having to downsize. They don't have to be a first-time home buyer. The benefits to this are just they're unending. My favorite part is they can even use the money to buy a 2-unit or a 3-unit or 4-unit building. And as you said, there are videos. So I've had the pleasure of doing 4 videos with Carolyn Sansori and working on number 5 to really get into the details of the Golden State program and how it's really an effective way for people to get into homes today. In addition to, it's just one more tool in your toolkit. There are a number of other creative strategies, like we've heard already, partnering up with buying with family, getting co-signers and co-buyers, which is also, by the way, a very unique value proposition of the Golden State Finance Authority. There are many down payment assistance programs that will not allow that have income limits and all kinds of credit overlays. And so, Carolyn, thank you for the work that Golden State is doing and continuing to do, and for your initiative right now to help African Americans and minorities who represent the lowest rate of homeownership, and because of the escalating prices, have also even a greater challenge.
Absolutely. And I'd really like to leave them with the URLs or the websites in order to reach out to myself and Golden State Finance Authority, or to you at First Bank, Eric, with questions, or if they're ready to get started. There's no obligation. You need to start somewhere and look at your situation, find out what's available, because if you don't get started, you will never achieve it. Can you leave those URLs for them?
Yes, absolutely, folks. You can go to neverrentagain.com, and at neverrentagain.com, just go through the form. You'll be able to type in questions you have, and you'll be able to schedule an appointment, and in that appointment are asked to talk to Carolyn, and we will connect you to her. You can also go to applytobuynow.com, where you can actually apply online and get started with the process in the comfort of your own home. You can also go to qualifiedtobuynow.com, where you can download a mobile app. This mobile app has all the videos that Carolyn and I have done that really go into detail of the Golden State program, as well as access to the Golden State website, where you can see their income limits, the program guidelines. Everything is there in that mobile app, qualifiedtobuynow.com. I'm going to open up to our VIP agents and see if they have any questions or comments before we wrap up this show. We're going to start with Candace Thrower, new VIP agent on the Power Is Now Media Network.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for having me today. It's been very interesting. And to you, Carolyn, I just want to say it's a great work that you're doing. I heard about this program, I want to say about a week ago. I stumbled upon the program and heard you speak, and I immediately reached out to Eric, and here I am today on this side. Who would have thought? But I'm also applying for the loan myself, and it isn't an easy process. And I have a pool of buyers that are already pre-qualified with other lenders. But one of my responsibilities, I feel, as a realtor is to give them their best options. And some of them, most of them, because I live in a military area here in San Diego, a lot of my buyers are VA buyers, and they work hard, and, they're single moms, and they just, they need the benefit of their hard-earned money continuing to be saved, and using OPM if possible, so other people's money. And it's just been a real blessing. So I think in the past week I've referred you to maybe like 3 or 4 people, and this has just been in 5 days. So I think it's a beautiful program, and it's great to have other options, like I said. So thank you for that.
Candace, I love the fact you bring up veterans, and we all know that the VA program is zero money down, but they still have to come up with closing costs unless the lender, and we do this here at First Bank, would do an interest credit to cover the closing costs. And it's interesting that the Golden State Finance Authority is able to provide that money so that this is just another option for them to truly get in with no money down whatsoever, not having to engage the seller, because that's another way, right, for veterans to do a no-no, VA no-no, and get seller involvement, lender credit, all these ways. Well, here's another strategy provided by the Golden State Finance Authority. Jenny Gonzalez, thank you for being on the show. Any questions or final comments?
All I'm going to say is down payment assistance is the bomb. It is back. It is furious, and it's going to help a bunch of renters get out of their apartments and the homes that they're renting in, and it's going to make them first-time homebuyers. It's going to bring them wealth, and Golden State is going to be famous because we're going to make them famous, and because their programs are better than any other program. And yes, when I go to apply again, we are going to be applying for Golden State because it's going to save us money. We're going to be able to have equity in our home, and we're going to be able to do what we need to do. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Amen to that, Jenny. Amen to that. And I love the fact that anybody can use that program. This is really a differentiator, that you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. You could be in your home right now and buy another home as long as you're going to live in that property. That's big news, and it's coming from Carolyn Sansori, the Golden State Finance Authority. Carolyn, final comments before we wrap up the show.
You know, I love that we mentioned that it works with VA loans. Keep in mind, it also works with FHA loans, USDA loans, and conventional financing options. And I like to also remind people that you don't have to have perfect credit to qualify for down payment assistance. Our programs will allow FICO scores down to 620, which does allow for some flexibility, you know, for different circumstances in people's lives. So please, if you want to get started in building some wealth and some financial security through real estate, it's worth looking into whether the down payment assistance can make that happen sooner than you thought possible. And thanks for having me on tonight's show.
Thank you, Carolyn. Well, folks, there you have it. Another great Homebuyer Town Hall. And if you think this is good, go to the website and check out the Real Estate Roundtable with Sharon Bartlett, or the Market Update with Yvonne Mcfadden. And of course, this show, Tuesday night. Go back and check out some other shows here where we're just bringing great information, great value from top agents, seasoned professionals. These are not agents who just got their license. These are agents who've done hundreds, if not thousands, of transactions over their careers, really know what they're talking about. And if you're looking for an agent, go to our website, thepowerisnow.com, and you'll see in the menu bar, Real Estate Agent. These are VIP agents, trusted advisors, vetted by me, endorsed by The Power Is Now. If you need a trusted advisor to guide you, to help you navigate these treacherous waters of real estate, consider a VIP agent first before you consider anyone. I want to encourage you to tune in again on Thursday night, where we're going to be talking about the 5-Star Conference. If you're a real estate professional and you didn't attend the conference, then you want to listen to the show. It's coming up on Thursday at thepowerisnow.com. Well, again, I want to welcome our newest VIP agent, Candace out of San Diego, for joining the team, and we appreciate her. We're looking more from her soon right here on The Power Is Now. Well, folks, remember, we are at our best and we maximize our success when we act now. The power is now. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.
The Power Is Now Media is worldwide with growing audience of future homebuyers, investors, builders, developers, real estate agents, and brokers. The Power Is Now Media is well positioned to increase awareness and produce results for our growing roster of advertising partners. An advertisement on any of our platforms is the right step toward reaching and communicating key brand messages to a targeted network of individuals, families, and communities interested in housing. Our content areas include feature stories and profiles on successful real estate agents, business owners, government, and community leaders. The Power Is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, real estate, and programming guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate and mortgage news and information from industry experts. VIP agents are able to feature listings each week. The Power Is Now TV radio podcast features weekly shows that include Homebuyers Townhall, Real Estate Roundtable, VIP Agent Spotlight, and so much more. Each week, VIP agents have opportunities to be featured guests on the shows. VIP agents can discuss and showcase houses, neighborhoods, and provide brief introductions. The interviews are unlimited 10 to 15 minutes on each current listing. This product alone separates you from your competition. The Power Is Now delivers to you market update interview to promote listing weekly, promotional biographical video, co-host a bi-monthly Homebuyers Townhall show, featured subject matter expert on Real Estate Roundtable show, The Power Is Now program guide e-magazine, The Power Is Now national e-magazine, article writing and blogging, social media content customization, inclusion and press releases, graphic design services, business and performance coaching, technology support, referrals, lead generation opportunities, and management support.